Welcome to another NEBA Spotlight. I am happy to present to you Eileen. Eileen, tell us about you. Tell us about your company.
So, I am a personal finance coach and I work with mostly one-on-one with clients, but I also do trainings for small companies for their staff. So, the majority of what I do, as you can see on the screen, you see the big box that says reducing debt. That's where my specialty is. But once I have people reducing debt, then we start to save for emergencies. Then we start to do retirement. I pass them off to a financial advisor at that time. That's where my line stops. Um, just a little, let's just see. Trying to get my thing going here. Let's see. Okay, so this is my family. This is why I do what I do. My husband and I just hit 30 years yesterday of marriage, which I can't believe because I'm still like 35. That's me. My daughter Maureen next is in the Air Force. My daughter Kate's a nurse, and my son is going to engineering school. So that's why I do what I do. These are the areas that I mostly spend my time educating with people having issues with debt. The credit cards are probably the biggest culprit for most adults. But the younger folks a lot of times have the student loans, and boy, are those big. Some of them are like $40,000 just for the kids, another 35, 40,000 for the parents. And then vehicles. Oftentimes people spend a lot of money. The average vehicle is $700 a month. So this is kind of a demographic. I'm not going to get into too much of this, but 7 out of 10 people don't budget. Budgeting is one of those things that people are scared of, but that's one of the first things that I disarm and help people get all of that stuff into the right place, figure out where it is, and then put a strategy and help them one-on-one, walk step by step by step, because money's scary to people, and they don't feel like they're good at it. So and oftentimes I'll kind of point out some of the money wasters. One of them is buying insurance that we don't need. We're going on a trip this coming month and we don't need rental insurance. We already have it under, a credit card. We already have it underneath our car insurance. Why do we need to spend another, $40 a day? Refinancing too often. We learned that lesson early on. We refinanced 3 times in the course of 5 years, and every time we had to pay more and more money for refinancing. I don't know that it was worth it. Minimum credit card payments, that doesn't even keep up with the interest a month. Um, Too much power emotional spending. That's probably the biggest thing that I see. With number four, buying things that people want opposed to what they need. You unused memberships. I was wasting $70 a month for a couple of years during COVID without a gym that was being used. Convenience, GitHub, Uber Eats, those are painful. Those can add up to be hundreds or thousands of dollars a month. And then keeping up with the Joneses. Boy, that Facebook my kids use and the Instagram and everything, boy, you never have enough, right? So many of the marketing companies, they get paid a lot of money to get us going, like Amazon. Amazon was not my friend. Clothes, cars, eating out. We deserve it, we deserve it, we deserve it. But we don't deserve debt. We deserve freedom. So social media pumps stuff everywhere we turn. They're trying to get us to buy something else. And then the special deals and urgency, that's where Amazon got me because like, whoa, you need this. It's $20 instead of 100. So when I'm teaching people about money, one of the first things I do, and even some of the folks that have little kids, put this on your refrigerator and talk about needs. What are the things we need? We need food, we need shelter, we need to be able to have clothing on our body. But on the other side is toys and computer stuff. Although one person said ice cream is need, you need to move the ice cream over to the need because that's a need of mine. But the eating out kind of thing. And then this is kind of a sample of a budget I'd put together. I simplified this just so someone's not looking at, 100 categories. But the most important thing is knowing how much do I get paid? Do I get paid once a month? Do I get paid 3 times a month? What are my expenses? If I make $5,000 a month and I spend 4,700, I'm going to be okay. But if I'm spending 6,000 when I make 5,000, you can see where all of a sudden down at the bottom on the right, you got credit card debt. And the next thing you know, it's building and building and building. And that's how people get into trouble. This is a great app. I started using this in March of last year, and I'm excited and embarrassed to say that I was overspending by $525. Like within a month or two, I found $525. And I thought I was pretty good with money. This is what I do for a living. So there's always room for improvement. And then if I have time, Greg, I think I do. This is a 3-minute video clip. So I'm going to share that.
One of my favorite
Make sure you
parts
guys
about
can hear
personal
it.
finance is the
Hear
fact that it doesn't have to be complicated. You can win with money by just using common sense. So here are 4 common sense money principles that you can live by every day. Common sense prevails when it comes to your money. When people say personal finance, I feel like I should have like reader glasses on and say words like diversification and growth stock mutual funds and like use all these big terms, because personal finance, it seems like a very intimidating topic and people don't like talking about their money because they kind of feel stupid. People that win with money and that are rich, they know all the stuff that I don't, and I'm just a common person. But listen, you guys, personal finance, majority of it is behavior. Very small percentage of it is head knowledge. So if you live by common sense principles when it comes to money, it's amazing how quickly you can win. Like number 1, live on less than you make. Blowing your mind right now, aren't I? Yeah, you guys, if you spend more than you make, you're going to be broke. If you live on less than you make, you have money to save and save for the future. Things for like emergencies, so that debt doesn't have to be part of your life, or things that you want to, save up for the future. It's amazing just living on less than you make, but it's hard to do. It's easy to understand. It's hard to do. Another common sense principle that I live by is if you don't have the money, don't buy it. Oh my gosh. I said this in an interview, like a national interview one time, and I said, yeah, well, if you don't have the money, don't buy it. Anchor looked at me and she was like, that is so smart. I was like, really? Okay, because it's common sense. We all know it, but doing it is hard again because there's credit cards, car loans, all these ways to go get things that we want instantly. But when you're in debt and you're living paycheck to paycheck, like 70% of Americans do, it's hard to win with money. So if you just go by the philosophy, well, we don't have the money for that vacation, so we're not going to take it. I don't have the money to buy that particular car, so I'm not going to buy it. But just living with this idea that debt has to be a part of your life is going to keep you broke. Another common sense principle is talking about money, even when it's hard. And when you're married, especially, communicating about money, this should be part of marriage, right? You talk about every aspect of marriage, from in-laws to kids and parenting. Money should be part of that, but it's not. So many couples refuse to talk about it, and it's very hard to win with money if you're married and you and your spouse are not on board. So talk about money. And the last one to some of you is something that you do every day, and some of you don't do it at all. But simply log into your bank account. You guys, it's amazing how people don't even know their username and password for their bank account. Log in and know what's going on. Know how much money you have. This whole idea of overdraft fees and spending more than what you have in your checking account is silly. Like, that's 5th grade math, you guys. We got to do better than that. And so to win financially, you have to take ownership. And part of that is knowing what you have. So very common sense, very basic, but just log into your bank account. So those 4 common sense money principles, it's just the basics right there. But to dive more into those and other great habits that you can implement in your life and common sense ways to live with your money, make sure to check out my book.
So I just put this down again just because of a visual. I'm a visual person. So what she talked about was living on less than you make, kind of that $5,000 a month someone makes, spending $6,000, we get in trouble. And if we don't have the money, don't buy it, which is not always easy to say, especially when we like to be able to emotionally treat ourselves, which sometimes can be very expensive. Talk about money even when it's hard. That's definitely tough in marriage. My husband and I will hold hands now so that way we don't kill each other. And then logging into a bank account. And know how much money is in there. A lot of people have no idea what's in their bank account. So then these are just a few books. The Debt-Free Degree is great for parents that are going to be sending their kids off to college, kids that are out and they have student loans. Most of the book is focused on that. Dave Ramsey has a Total Money Makeover, which kind of covers all areas of money. And then The Everyday Millionaires is 10,000 Americans that were interviewed and what they do, like spend no more than $40 on a pair of jeans, buy a car that's 1 year old, 2 years old, when it's already dropped 20, 30% in value. And then this is just kind of video a little clip I like to show. People have all their expenses all over the place, buzzing all around. And I help them put it into the nest with a budget and figure it out, each bee at a time. Is this a need, as a savant. And that's it. How did I do, Greg?
Perfect, right on time. Reach
Okay.
out to Eileen to learn more. There's her contact information. Thank you, Eileen, for presenting today. What a
Thank
great
you very
business.
much, guys, for listening.